All right, we're reading another chapter of Heterogeneous Linguistics. I don't know how many of you have checked out this series based on my recommendation, but if this is helpful at all, I don't know why you'd be watching this video if you're not reading the series, but read this series. This series is so nice. It's so cozy and lovely and interesting and funny. I really can't recommend it enough. So again, the premise is this linguist has headed out into the world of monsters to learn the language of the monster people. Here we have him checking his diary made by his predecessor, his professor of linguistics, who's made all sorts of notes of varying levels of helpfulness. Some say asking, what is this, is indispensable in trying to learn a language. However, in the world of monsters, it can be hard to tell if people are both talking about the same this. Ah, yes, and this is something he's sort of encountered before, where he thinks he's referring to the obvious quality of something, asking about what a physical object is based on its appearance, when really the more common topic of conversation among the wolf people, for example, would be the smell of it. And that smell might be shared among many, many things. So asking, what is this? Thinking, what is this smell? Would lead to a totally disjoint, useless conversation. Look, nice. So he sees something that he finds interesting. He points it out to their little party. Even if you're not looking at the same thing, even if you're not thinking the same way, it's all good. It's nice, nice. Ahead is something. So they're all maybe looking at something different. The one lizard man picks up a rock, thinking that the human was talking about a rock. The little wolf girl and the other lizard men think they're talking about perhaps the bird, the branch legs flying around. The Minotaur thinks they're talking about the path. That is something. Nobody seems to care about the rainbow. Nobody thinks that's nice at all. Oh, well. Rubbing her face and his back. Her coat seems to be getting thicker. Seeing more and more frost. It's the plan we need to reach Utatsu, Wow, before winter starts. Some of what I thought was mist turned out to be something else. It was steam. Tatsu is in a volcanic region. A note suggested it as a winter shelter. Seemed to be getting close. So there's kind of open, hot water. Onsen, perhaps. Just noticing ribbon, it looks like. Some sort of cloth. Wrapped around this branch and kind of fluttering in the breeze here. The end of the stream was a village. The source of the water is the hot spring here. No series can resist the hot spring chapter for too long. In the end, it all returns to hot springs. It's real hot, it looks like, though. What is this thing? Doesn't seem like he's paying it much mind. I guess this is maybe part of the same lesson. That just like everyone else who's overlooking the rainbow, there might be things he's overlooking too. Because there's this thing, to me it looks like it's lounging by the hot spring. That it might be alive, that it might be intelligent. It looks like maybe it's reaching into the hot spring through the ground and absorbing something. I don't know. It's brown and cloudy and way too hot to use. I hear when he came. Mo had stayed here before on his journey. And left over his Motan, setting was a breeze. So this was remnants of when he had stayed here before. Some sort of board different for use from the ones that crossed the water, scattered throughout the village. Deep into thought. Bad we broke it. He gives. What the heck? What could this be? I think it's maybe some sort of souvenir. Or maybe it's something suggesting a bond. Maybe a Minotaur culture to distribute two halves of a broken object between two friends is to show that they've truly become friends or something. That they're friends for life or something like that. I don't know. You and me. Clack, clack. Know this place well. I want to go together. No need. Maybe it's to signify a leave-taking? Saying, like, this is going to be the last place we journey to together, and thus we'll hold on to these broken halves of this board as a memento of our time together? Something like that, i.e. the exact opposite of my first guess? I don't know. There are werewolves, lizardmen, and other species here. The most abundant seems to be, lamia. Yes, that's what we were seeing before. These snake-like monsters that I thought I saw lounging by the hot springs. I thought so. Okay, so it is a thing. It's a lamia. What if they can speak werewolf? So he's trying out his werewolfish, doing his best. He's kind of leapfrogging his way up, language by language, trying to find even more densely layered pigeons away from his mother tongue. Very admirable. Not sure if it'll work out well here. I think these are probably going to be another animal that communicates, not just vocally. Because look at the way they're leaving. Look at the way the lamia leaves as soon as it's addressed. I think it's actually communicating something with the motion of its tail. Maybe. I feel like this has happened before. It might not actually be ignoring me. Maybe some other reason or element coming into play. It's her first time talking to one too. She seems to be perplexed at being ignored. Trying to figure out a pattern here. All these different species scattered around the hot springs. How are they reacting to lamia? Perhaps they can't hear us. Might use something other than sound to communicate. Oh, look at Suzuki. She really has a linguist at heart, thinking immediately of other ways to communicate, and choosing one that's I think pretty good. That I think would make sense for a lot of animals to communicate, which is vibrations in the ground, subaurally, just shaking the ground in order to convey sound information. What? It attacks? This is nearly unprecedented. Basically, nothing has fought each other before over miscommunication. This is bad. Something must have gone really terribly wrong. So I'd ask a werewolf in the village about it. To talk with that person. Ignored. Do you know how to talk with that person? Ignored. It really seems like we're being ignored. This is bad. I think not just for his linguistic studies, but if this is just kind of the reception he's going to get in this town, I don't know how they're going to survive. So far, his survival has been very, very hinged on people being reasonable with him, being kind to him and generous. If people are giving him the cold shoulder, if it's evident that he's done something wrong, if he's being outcast, I don't know how he's planning on making it to civilization from here. I'm always watching. Watching you the whole time, Sensei. Some more. Oh! This board might be a hint. He just gets attacked again. Siblings are up to. Okay, so he looks for the lizardman siblings. Looking at something funny. Oh. The snakes the lamia are hanging out on the board, and the lizard man is tapping the board. Okay, all right, that's the end. Quite mysterious. So in the end, is it about vibrations? Is it that they were attacked because they were kind of getting there, but they were doing something like offensive, like they were mocking the actual communication practice? That by hitting the board, misusing the board, or by stomping the ground, misusing the train, they're not really putting it together, and that's even more offensive than just their naive attempts to communicate through spoken language. And that the reason they're being ignored in spoken language is that they simply, well, I don't know. That still seems rude of like the lizard people and the wolf people to ignore him when he's just asking how to communicate. I don't know. We'll find out. It was quite a break before this chapter. I'm not sure if that's because we're caught up with the magazine raws, and this is how quickly the magazine raws come out, or what's going on. But whatever, I can patiently await the next chapter. It's such a great series. I really hope you check it out. Okay, that's all for now.